Hi, I'm Holly and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing 10 bookish questions so you can get to know me a little bit better. So first of all, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm 24 years old, I've got a partner called Harvey and I live in Suffolk with my partner and my little boy who is 9 months old. I've also been very active on BookTok for the last 4 or 5 years. You can find me here. The book that made me fall in love with reading has to be Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. If we go into more depth, really it's the entire series that made me fall in love with reading. I had these read to me as a child by my mum and my stepdad at the time, and it was such a nice experience, feeling like you were like so grown up reading these books and having them read to you, but also just escaping into a completely different reality. That's something so magical, and as a child that is just amazing, and it's something about the way that these books are written, it just speaks to me. So yeah, it'd have to be Harry Potter all the way. My all-time favourite books are anything crime, psychological thriller. I'm not a massive fan of detective series because I find them all very similar. However, nobody does a psychological thriller better than Frida. Some people don't like her. And okay, yeah, I probably get it because her writing style is very similar, but there has never been a plot that I have predicted. Her books just are so unpredictable. This one being one of my favourites, Dear Debbie. It was an amazing story. And I feel like even if I read her books again, I still would have forgotten the ending and not be able to predict it again because they're that wild of a journey. She can like completely manipulate you into thinking that the ending is going to be a certain way, and then in the last page completely flip it. Another awesome one. Take it or leave it. Some people hate this book, but I loved it. As well, I do love a sports romance. You can't go wrong. A little bit of Elle Kennedy. An Elsie Silver book is also good. But on the whole, I am a psychological thriller reader through and through. When it comes to deciding what I'm going to read next, it takes a lot of thought. I am completely of two minds when it comes to reading. As much as I love the psychological thrillers, sometimes you do need a break. Sometimes it stresses you out. So then it's when I switch over to my romance books. So normally I decide by taking a random look at my shelf or my Kindle library, or I'm really bad for new releases. When a new release comes out, I have to read it there and then. It doesn't go on the TBR, it just goes straight in. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, but it means the TBR is ever growing. But yeah, coming to deciding, I want to start doing a TBR jar and pulling it out, but I don't know if I can commit to that. So it's kind of a bit of a random pick of the drawer. Yeah. When it comes to my reading format, I am very flexible. I like a paperback, I love using my Kindle, and I love listening to audiobooks. I've started listening to audiobooks more since having a baby because your hands are never free. You are constantly busy and on the go. So if I'm out for a walk or doing some cleaning or rocking a baby to sleep and they don't need my full attention, I can pop my audiobooks on and I find that really comforting. So at the moment, I'd probably say I have to rank audiobooks at the top. However, my Kindle, she holds a special place in my heart. It's just comfort knowing you have so many books at your fingertips and you could just carry this around everywhere with you. And the charge on these things lasts ages. I love to create cute little inserts, but we'll do a little bit more on that in another video. And paperbacks. Paperbacks is more like my trophy books. I will usually only collect a paperback if I really enjoy it or it's something I've really anticipated. So most of the books I have behind me are books I really enjoy. So the Harry Potter series, I think I've got 6 different copies of those, all different editions. Yeah, because I really just love that series. But otherwise, hardbacks, they're quite hard no for me. It's just too big of a book to hold and read comfortably. They're beautiful if you want to collect them, but on the whole, I'd say audiobooks, Kindle, paperback. My favourite place to read, gonna be a guilty pleasure, is in the bath. I would live in the bath if I could. My partner would vouch for me there. I love the bath. I will have a bath probably every day. But that is my sort of peaceful, quiet time. I can go in the bathroom, I can lock the door, I can be in the warmth, the bubbles, normally too many bubbles, and just read. Usually with my clicker or my Kindle, sometimes a paperback if I'm feeling brave, and sometimes an audiobook again if I'm feeling brave, because headphones in the bath are a little bit risky. If we're talking about the place I'd probably read the most, it would be if I'm out and about on a walk. So I do enjoy that, but I don't think I could define that as one place. So yeah, I would say my favourite place to read is in the bath. So my reading goal for 2026 is 100 books. I don't think I'm going to hit my goal this year. We are in August now, halfway through August, and I have read 50 books. I'm quite impressed with myself that I got that far. I read a lot of those books when my little boy was very small, and all I was doing was being curled up on the sofa, having baby snuggles. It was very nice. Now he is starting to crawl and try and walk. It is not quite so easy to have those reading moments. However, I would be happy even if I just finished another 10 books. Just because I've got 10 books I could think of that I would like to read this year. So yeah, if all I can do is read another 10 books, then great. Because at the minute I would have to finish 10 books per month to reach my goal, and I don't think I'm going to achieve that, but we never know. Organising my bookshelf is not something that I'm very good at. So you can see my main bookshelf behind me here. It is somewhat organised, but it's not perfect. The top half of my bookshelf that you can't see at the moment is primarily Harry Potter and Lego. That is where I take the most pride. The books, however, are kind of just placed on there how they fit. Because I've got half of series, I've not got all the books I'd like to have on there. Some of the books on there aren't books I want to keep. It's a work in progress. We're doing a lot of work around the house, so actually figuring out what I want to go where is something that we're working on. The way I would like to organise my books is probably colour. I did try it before, however I just didn't have enough books in the same colour formats. It just looked a little bit sort of chop and changey. So I'd either say colour or authors if I had enough of this series. It is easy to say that I am a big fat mood reader. Honestly, if I had to pick a book and say that's my next book I'm going to read whilst I'm still reading another book, bet your bottom dollar that it would not be the book that I actually end up reading. I'm so inspired by what other people read, as for a start. New releases really sway me, and then just how I'm feeling. It's kind of like, cool, I've just read 5 psychological thrillers in a row, I need a little cutesy romance to break it up. Or autumn, I read lots of autumn books in the autumn. Or Christmas books around Christmas, because I am a mood reader and I do love those seasons. So yeah, by far, big fat mood reader all the way. The last book I read was Binding 13 from the Boys of Tommen series. I absolutely loved this book. I had put off reading this series so much because I felt like it was going to be overhyped, because I'd seen it a lot on Bookstagram, Book Talk, etc. But actually I was like, you know what, I need a series, and they said that they were going to develop it into a TV series, and I was like, oh, I have to read it so I can watch it. And I'm so glad that I did. I have just finished it, and oh my god, I am speechless. I don't even know what else I can say about it, because I don't want to spoil it for anyone that's not read it, but it was the most amazing book ever. Full stop. And finally, why did I choose to start a booktube? Well, I have always wanted to sit down and talk about books and find people that love books as much as I do, and I found that on BookTok and Bookstagram. However, I've just wanted to make that next step, and now that I have a little bit more time on my hands, I thought, why not embrace it? Do something for yourself, sit down and just make those moments. And if nobody watches, nobody follows along, I've done it for me and I can watch these videos back. And yeah, I just want to create memories. Oh, and a little side note. My partner is a videographer and photographer and he is amazing with cameras. So thank you to him for the beautiful lighting, recording, sound ideas and setup. He has done an amazing job. So that makes it even easier for me because I just have to sit here and he does all my nice work for me. So thanks, Harvey. So that is the end of the video. I know it has been more of a short video. I would like to do some more long form content soon. I'll talk about books more in depth. We can do some book reviews, some hot topics, and like I mentioned earlier, a few more insights into some Kindle mods. For now, you can find me here on BookTok or here on Bookstagram. And don't forget, if you want to stay tuned on YouTube, just click that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you know when I next upload a video. Bye!